quicker is not always better. Quickly implies that we are rushing. Quickly implies that we are getting done something fast. And fast does not necessarily mean that something is good.
Take your guard and let it down, 'cause you can work wherever now.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Work Wherever podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about AI, automation, innovation, the ability to work wherever so you can live every day like it is Saturday. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that has come up a lot in our organization, and I wanted to take the time to put it all into a podcast so that any of you who might be dealing with similar things hopefully will learn a thing or two or take some of this into consideration so that you can apply it into your business so that maybe you don't make some of the same mistakes that I've made along the way and I've seen other organizations make as well. And so that's the topic of du jour. The title of this podcast is Slow is Smooth and Smooth is Fast. It's a term or a quote that it originated from the Navy SEALs. And so the quote, slow is smooth and smooth is fast, really boils down to taking a look at what you're doing and ensuring that it is without blemish. And that is what's going to propel you and move forward more quickly. We are pretty good into 2023 at this point. Almost at Q2. And a lot of people start off the year and they're like, we want to start off the year on the right foot. We want to move quickly and we want to make changes and we want to adapt, and we're going to go about this new year in a way that is quick, fast, off with a good start and hit it with a bang and hit the ground running, all of the cliche sayings that we hear when we are referring to the ways we want to start off our year with our business, with our teams, with our whatever sports organizations. It could be anything. And we had a similar thought process internally where we were like, look, we're going to move quickly. We got a lot on our plate. We're going to get through it. We're going to be rapid. CI/CD for my tech people out there. That's continuous integration, continuous development, rapid deployment. We're going to be rapid, right? That's a terminology used around the tech field these days. Rapid deployment. And so what does rapid deployment do? What rapid deployment does is it releases things quickly. Quicker is not always better. Quickly implies that we are rushing. Quickly implies that we are getting done something fast. And fast does not necessarily mean that something is good. Slow means we're taking our time. Fast means we are rushed. There are instances where we can be fast, and it's because we've done things multiple times and we have practiced them and we have been methodical and we have put the time in and we've put the work hours, we've put the time into mastering that craft so that we can be fast. And that's the good fast. The bad fast is the chicken with his head cut off, running around, not understanding what they need to do, but knowing that they need to run with urgency fast. That's a different fast. We're talking about two different fasts there. And so when we say we want to move with urgency, what we really mean is that we want to be consistently attacking a goal. It doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be moving in large chunks or as fast as possible towards that goal, because as we've talked about on this podcast and on the Innovari podcast, which was a project prior to this, which Innovari stood for innovation. So if you guys want to really dive into innovation, you really want to nerd out about that 1% better, you can listen to that podcast. And so the idea of the Innovari project was 1% better. How can we get 1% better through the agile process of continuous improvement, continuous development, to ensure that we are consistently moving forward towards our epic quest, our end goal? And so the epic is, if we were to break it down into a video game, you have Mario, you have Lynx, you have these um, video game characters, Lynx from Zelda, of course. They go on these epic quests. And throughout the quest, they have different themes throughout the worlds of the video game that they need to accomplish. They have things that they need to get done. They have stories that they need to make sure that they are working through. And then tasks within the stories that they need to accomplish. These are the same fundamentals of the Agile methodology that we use as developers and within the technical field. So we have epics, that's your end goals. We have themes, is what makes up those epics. We have stories. These are the compilation of tasks. And then we have the actual tasks themselves that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. All of that builds up into Agile. All that builds into CI/CD. And all of that is part of the Innovari project that you guys can go listen to if you really want to learn more about it. Maybe I'll do a new podcast on it here and Work Wherever. But all of that makes up this rapid development. Now, notice that rapid development doesn't mean everyone go do their own thing and move as quickly as possible. That's not what that is. There is the accountability, the communication, the over-communication, if you will, around what needs to be done and what is to be done, so for that we can move forward and rapidly develop. You see, SOPs, processes, checklists, guidebooks, those are what enable us to go fast, not simply skipping and moving and this doing, and I say that in quotation marks, this doing that we have given to the Instagram and the TikToks and the videos out there to say, just go do it. No, don't just go do it. That's a terrible piece of advice. Now, should you get so caught up in not knowing what to do that you never get started? Absolutely not, but that's where that 1% comes into play. So if there is something that you need to accomplish, what is it that you need to accomplish? Make note of that. And that is how you move. But it is not 0 to 100. That's not the appropriate way to move fast. So that's what we're going to break it down. We're going to break down this quote today. And so slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so first, what is slow? If slow is smooth and smooth is fast, what is slow? Slow is a methodical approach. It is going through the checklists. It's going through the guidebooks. It's going through your order of operations. It's going through your SOPs, or your standing operating procedures. It's going through your work instructions. It's going through your directions to ensure that you have made it clear what everyone is to be doing and what is to become accomplished. You see, people can't move fast if they don't know what they're supposed to be moving fast towards. How can we understand that we need to move quickly if we don't know what we're to be doing? You see, in football, a fast offense, somebody who's up tempo, they're able to do so because they were able to rapidly communicate the plays. That's how you move fast in football. It isn't just randomly lining up and people randomly running in directions. You are able to communicate more frequently and more rapidly. Therefore, you are able to move faster through the no huddle or hurry up offense. See, that 2-minute drill is oftentimes scripted. It's gone over and over and over again within practice so that everybody understands what to do in a two-minute scenario. You go over those and you practice those more so than other scenarios. Red zone, goal line, 2-minute drill. The opening 2 minutes is scripted, or the opening drive is scripted. The end 2 minutes is scripted to make sure that everybody is aware of what you need to do to start off quickly and to finish quickly. And so true in business as well. We need to make sure that we're over communicating, that we are very clear as to what instructions need to be placed in front of us so that we can move quickly. And that starts first with slowing down. You see, in the same scenario in terms of football, you have walkthroughs. When you are first writing the script and you're first getting a general understanding of what is that need to be accomplished, you are not running at full speed. You're doing a walkthrough where everyone is to line up, where everyone is to go, where the quarterback is to make their initial reads, how people are supposed to respond, the order in which the quarterback progresses through the reads. What's your first read? What's your check down? These are all part of the play. Yet it is slowed down to a literal walk. That's why it's called a walkthrough. If you were to just draw up the play and then say, okay, and everybody go run it, it would be fast. People would be running, but they wouldn't be running in the appropriate direction. And they probably wouldn't be running it very well. So first, for you to get to a hurry up offense type of a business, to get to this rapid deployment, rapid development, to get to this fast, doing business quickly, you first have to slow down and be methodical. Do a walkthrough. Walk through very slowly. Take your time. Capture what it is. What is to be accomplished? What are the expectations? And if people are unaware of the expectations, then we need to define them. It's not, well, did I not make myself clear? Well, maybe you did make yourself clear. And then that's another conversation that would need to be had that's a little more difficult. Because if you believe that the expectations were clear, and the end person that that is supposed to be receiving those instructions made it clear that they were clear on the instructions, then it's no longer a communication problem. It is a performance problem. But let's focus on communication for this. So that is slow. Slow is a walkthrough. Slow is capturing. Slow is taking your time so that the more that you do it and the more that you practice, over time you become fast. That is slow. So now we're going to move into smooth. So if slow is smooth, I'm reading now off of the dictionary definition according to Oxford. There are two different smooths. Obviously, we're not talking about the surface, although you could make an analogy in there somewhere. Having an even and regular surface of consistency. There's an analogy in there to make sure that everything is consistent. So everything that is even. To ensure that the things that you are trying to accomplish are going to be the same and they are free from lumps and indentations, free from adversity. Because you see that there's enough adversity in your business, there's enough adversity in life that you're going to meet it. There was a quote from Tim Tebow who said that adversity is not something you avoid. Adversity is either coming or it's going, and it's your job to deal with it. Which I love that. It was on he said that on a podcast with Ed Millett recently that I heard, and I loved that. It's adversity is either coming or it's going. We're not going to get away from adversity. But what we can do is we can prepare our systems, processes, ourselves to be as consistent without lumps and without limitations and indentations as possible. Because if we're creating our own adversity, when more adversity comes, it's a bad, bad recipe. Now, let's talk about the other. That is the adjective. Let's talk about the verb. The verb smooth is a movement without jerks. So jerks are often quick moves, right? So if we are taking a knee-jerk reaction, that means we're moving quickly without any real reasoning behind it. So again, smooth, slow. We are moving slowly and smoothly. Those knee-jerk, those sudden bursts of movement, we don't want those. That's still the adjective, by the way. But that is what we're looking not to accomplish. So let's talk about the verb now. I wanted to make sure I got that second adjective definition there because that's a good one. So that's of movement. So let's go to the adverb, because the adverb is the one that we're really talking about. So it is movement, or to do something in a way that is without difficulty. So when we're moving fast, oftentimes we're putting in an accelerated amount of effort. So if it's a car, you're pushing the accelerator down, which burns more fuel, takes more power, takes more energy, takes more force to move the object forward. And so if we are to move smoothly, we are to move in a way that is without difficulty. So we are to move in a way that we understand what is to be accomplished. We are moving to a way that is the easiest way forward. Not easy because the road is not bumpy, or easy because we're taking the easy route away from adversity. It's not easy for those reasons. It's easy because we have an understanding of what needs to become accomplished. That is what makes it easy. When we have playbooks, back to the football analogy, when we have a playbook, you have a position. So wide receiver, so somebody who might just be watching, it might just look like there's three people on the outside, but those positions actually have oftentimes they're letters. So you have the X, the Y, and the Z. And so you have the X, which is largely the outside, the Z, that's the slot, and the Y often fluctuates on different sides, but they're wideouts. And so if you are a wideout, maybe you're looking at what all three positions are doing, the X, Y, and the Z. Maybe you play all three positions, but it's most likely that you are either the X, the Y, or the Z, and you're just paying attention to that one route. And that's your route, and you understand that's your route, and you need to make sure that you understand what to do on that play. It's very clear. Therefore, it is not difficult to understand. When you look at a NFL play from somebody who is looking at it from a broader scope and just taking a 10,000-foot view of it, and you see a bunch of lines and circles and numbers, it might be difficult to follow as somebody who doesn't understand what the play is designed to accomplish, as somebody who has never played football before, as somebody who is an outsider. Hearing the terminology associated with play calling can be confusing. But what if you were to just focus on one position? Things become a little bit more clear. They become a little bit more easy to understand, and things become less difficult. And that's the version of smooth that I want to focus on for your business. So if we go slow and we are methodical and we're capturing and we're documenting and we're laying things out, we can be smooth, meaning we are moving without difficulty. And if we're moving without difficulty, then we can move fast. If you've ever been on a boat, is it faster for the boat to go on choppy water or smooth water? You see, a speedboat is not designed to go on choppy water. There are some really expensive ones that'll help you do it and help you cut through the waves, but if you've ever been on a speedboat in choppy water, it is not a fun experience. That is a recipe for seasickness. The waves are tossing you around, you're banging around. If you're trying to go fast over the choppy water, then the bottom of your boat is slamming on the waves, and it's awful. These small speedboats, not designed for that type of water, and it is hell to be quite honest with you, if you've ever been on a small boat. So you can't go fast. The entire build and the whole design of this boat is intended to go fast. And so now you have to slow down, and now you're rocking, and now the boat is not really doing what it is designed to do. And if you try to go fast in that instance, you could actually be in danger. You could toss your boat, toss people off the boat. You could wreck it. You could come to a point where it's just not a good thing. So we want to make sure that we are doing what we are designed to do, and that is a very business-related approach to say that if in order to go fast, we need to make sure that things are smooth. Things are without difficulties. Again, this is not to state that adversity won't happen, that you might get an influx of clients, that you might have multiple deadlines, that you might have things that you cannot control, but you better make sure that the things that you can control are smooth and that you have gone through methodically as to make sure and understand that everyone knows what they're doing. That is the only way to move fast. Your business is a speedboat, and the water is your processes and understanding. And if you don't ensure that the water is smooth when you're the captain and you're taking the boat out, you're going to have a bad time. Things are going to go wrong. Even if it rains. Even if the sun is out. If the water is not smooth and you didn't do your methodical planning to ensure that you were taking things out when the water is smooth, you're going to have a hard time. So slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Don't get caught up in this rapid development craze. Don't get caught up in this move as fast as you can time period, because if you just moved as fast as you could over the last quarter, you might find yourself in a very awkward position here come Q2 where you've actually created more chaos for yourself than actually done good. Oftentimes when you move too fast, you lose money. Been there. Where you're like, yep, we can bring it on. Boom, 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 boom. We didn't methodically plan this out. We just said to the client that we're going to get it done, and that's the date, and now you've created chaos, and maybe you got it done, but maybe you didn't do it in budget. Things didn't go smooth. You did it fast. It wasn't smooth. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Hopefully you got a lot out of this podcast. This is it's a fun one for me. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast is something that I have been focusing on. As somebody who does governance and someone who does process capture and someone who does work instructions and spends so much time in quality and QMS, this is something that you have to constantly articulate to your team, because even my team, who understands that I'm just beating over communication and processes and SOPs down their throats, and we have guidebooks and we have all these things, those things need to be amended. They need to be checked on. They need to be reviewed. And so oftentimes we find ourselves stressed out. And instead of falling back on a playbook, we just try to move fast through it. We'll figure it out. We're just going to run through the wall. And while that can get you to an end goal, when we're talking about dollars and we're talking about error and risk and security and how well you accomplished something, it's not always the best way. In fact, it's rarely the best way to just try and run fast. So guys, thanks for hanging out. And until next time, salute. Hey there! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for all the latest videos from Capital Presence.